Yo, what's going on? It's DJ Crowley, and of course, Blue is in the house as well. It's been a while since we've done some interviews, man. And man, we've been saving the good ones, man. We got Zeb in the house, Tribal Seeds. What is going on, man?
What's happening? How you guys doing, bro?
Man, we're doing fabulous. We're so happy to have you, and we're so happy to have this
Yeah,
fantastic piece of art right here. We're going to talk a
thank
little
you.
bit more about Ancient Blood, this incredible new record, here in just a bit. But it's been some time since our last talks with Tribal Seeds, man. It's been about 10 years. Carlos was on the drums, Ian was on the keys. A lot has changed. Let's talk about the band's evolution since your arrival and how you kind of came to find yourself in the family we like to call the Tribal Seeds.
So let's see. I joined the band at the end of 2016. Stilos left to play with Sublime with Rome, so he was playing with them and had a new gig and everything. And they were looking for a new drummer. And I've known the guys. I knew Gonzo for a while, and I had known Louis for a long time from Roots Covenant, and Louis kind of the one that hit me up like, hey, would you be down to check out this project and everything. Obviously, I know Tribal Seeds and everything, and at that time I was kind of making a transition between playing with Jamaican artists, but I was also playing with American reggae artists too. And I'd always loved the band's music. I first saw them. I was with Barrington Levy back in Hawaii. I want to say it was probably like maybe like 15 years ago or more now, probably like two or something like that, maybe like 2000 and I don't know what year we're in, 2024, probably
Whatever.
like 2009. Yeah, like 2008, 9,
Yeah.
and they were young. There was actually them and Revolution were the opening acts on that little run in Hawaii, and I had never really heard of either one at that time or was familiar with their music. And I remember watching Tribal Seeds and I was just blown away. And I was like, yo, man, these guys are great. So when it all came about, I was playing. It's a long story about what happened, but it just kind of all happened from just being around everybody and being in the right place at the right time. And they all knew me. They grew up watching me play with a lot of Jamaican artists. I didn't know Steve and T Ray at that time. I just met them when I joined the band, like actually met them and stuff. But they told me later, like, yo, we grew up watching you play, all the Bob Marley days and the Ragamuffins festivals and all that down in San Diego and everything. And just kind of came full circle, you know what I mean? They were stoked to have me there and I was stoked to be there.
Yeah. Are you San Diego born and raised?
No, I'm from LA.
So you're from LA originally. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So
from LA.
yeah,
Yeah.
right down the street. Hey, if you guys are just tuning in, we got Zeb Tribal Seeds in the house. You're late if you're just tuning in, by the way, man. So happy to have you, man. You were talking about this illustrious career you've had, man. Link's told me that you have quite possibly one of the greatest reggae stories in history. You've played in over 100 bands in your career, 50 countries thus far, including artists like Sean Paul, Shaggy, Barrington Levy, Yellow Man, Sugar Minott, the late Peter Morgan, rest in peace, Half
Yeah,
Pint,
rest in
Jay
peace, Peter.
Boog, Kaimani, so many more. Tell us a little
Yeah,
bit, not your whole story, because I'm sure it's about a whole, 4 or 5 chapters, maybe 10
sure
chapters.
is.
Tell us a little bit about your story and your musical journey, how you got into it, and a little bit more into it, man.
Yeah, I grew up here in LA. I started playing drums when I was about like 8, like every other kid. I just kind of jammed in my room, played the records and all that. And, kind of grew up doing classic rock when I was young. And later on, I turned to punk rock. And, I had like punk bands in junior high school and a little bit in high school and all that. And I kind of was, I was a skater kid from Venice. A lot of us were into punk rock, but we were also into a lot of just I don't know, I want to say it's conscious music in different genres, dealing with cultural things, dealing with political things, dealing with we always like music with a substance. So even the punk rock that I listened to was Crass and Subhumans and Rudimentary Peni and these kind of bands,
Mm.
Descendants and all those guys as well. And so like I was into like very conscious music about socio-political issues, things like that. And I got into reggae through my brother. Actually played me reggae first, and at first I didn't like it. I was like, oh, it's too slow for me. And I wanted thrash punk, hardcore type stuff. And as I gradually got into it, this is probably like I was probably like in about like eighth grade, maybe ninth grade. And reggae wasn't a big music, obviously, back then in America. Like it was only Jamaican artists, basically, and there was very few American reggae bands. Period. There wasn't a lot of non-Jamaican and not even non-black people playing reggae music
Right.
in America. So it wasn't like readily like it is now with the whole Cali roots and reggae scene and all that. So you had to really search it out. It was really like sub-genre of music. But he took me to a few concerts that kind of sold me on it. Was Oswald. I saw Oswald with him, and I saw the Taxi Gang tour, which was Sly and Robbie with Black Uhuru.
Ooh.
Um, Back in like the '80s, talking about like the late '80s or whatever, mid '80s, whatever. So it was like Puma Jones and like that era, Michael Rose of Black Uhuru, and I saw Steel Pulse at the Greek Theater, and I just remember watching, especially like Sly Dunbar and Steel Pulse Grizzly. And it's crazy because I ended up being friends with these guys later on in life, not just
Right.
friends, but colleagues, really.
Yeah.
These guys that I grew up like idolizing, watching play reggae, and I learned everything from Jamaican drummers, from Jamaican artists. Just kind of like really like got into it once I heard it live, and I heard the drums live and the bass live and everything. Once I saw it live, I was like, oh, I get it now. You know what I mean? And then from then on, I just kind of like dove into it head first and just started playing the records and everything. We started reggae bands. I had one with my brother, for a while. We used to open for like Augustus Pablo and all these people. And I was underage at that time. I was like 17 or whatever, 18 maybe. And they would kick me out of the club after we played. Sometimes I couldn't see the headlining artists, stuff like that. So, as time went on, I got better and stuff. And, I started playing with, Jamaican artists, bigger artists. And one of the first ones was Ross Michael and the Sons of Negus, is Nyabingi specialist, the Nyabingi specialist, Ross Michael. And at that time, I was growing my locks. I had locks, and I was reading the Bible, and I was into the whole spiritual aspect of learning about Rastafari and Haile Selassie and all those things, not just the music. So Ross Michael really taught me a lot. Took me to Jamaica my first time. I played at Reggae Sumfest when I was like 23, maybe, in Jamaica, which was a big
Wow.
deal for me.
Yeah.
Um, Even now, a lot of American guys will never get to go there and play in Jamaica at Reggae Sumfest or those kind of shows. So, that kind of journeyed me on, and that kind of springboarded into playing with other artists and all that. And then I ended up forming Detour Posse around like the late '90s, and then we became pretty much the backing band for like all of the Jamaican artists that would
Hmm.
come to America at first, and then it became us touring internationally with a lot of these artists, Gregory Isaac, Barrington Levy, like a lot of the guys that you mentioned. And so we just kind of did that, and then we made a name, and the band name kind of spread out through the reggae community in Jamaica and all that. And so all the artists and promoters and managers started knowing who we were, and like, oh, if you're going to America, you need these guys.
Hmm.
And we just did that for a long time, man. And we just, we got to do some incredible stuff, man. We toured the world many times over. We got to play on the Tonight Show and TV shows and all that kind of stuff, man. It's been kind of a crazy journey.
That's one thing. That is obviously a crazy journey, but that is one thing I didn't know. So you guys, so those greats from Jamaica would, have their agents book a tour, tours in the US, and you guys would be the go-to backing band for
Yeah.
all of these artists. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
And a lot of the festival, like the major reggae festivals, Reggae on the River, Bob Marley Day, all these festivals, especially on the West Coast, we would be basically the house band where we would back 6 or 7 artists each day of the festival. Because at that time, a lot of Jamaican artists couldn't travel from Jamaica with a band due to
Right.
visas and money and all kinds of different issues. And they needed a good band that was in America already. And a lot of the festivals, it was just easier and more money efficient to get like one, because they do this in Jamaica with Rough Cut and all these bands. And all right, we have 10 artists, and the same band is going to back all 10 artists.
Hmm.
So I got really adept. We all did that, like artists, you know, just backing six, maybe it would be one dancehall artist, two roots artists, a lovers rock, you know, it's all different stuff. Sometimes we've got soca artists or a hip hop artist like Heavy D
Mm.
or, you know, whoever. And we just got better, you know, we just got to try to get better at our craft and just be able to recreate these guys' music live, you know. This is kind of before the days where everybody's using tracks, you know, we did everything pretty much live. We had samplers and, you know, played loops and samples here and there, but it was pretty much track free back then. You know, we had to play the stuff that was on the records live as close as possible as we could to the, you know.
That's a heavy feat, man. Learning all of that different music. Obviously there's a similarity within each different subgenre of reggae, so you can kind of feel it. But at the same time, you still got to know where you're going.
It's all different. I mean, to some people it might sound the same, but it's definitely not.
Yeah.
You know, it's like country. It's like, okay, yeah, there's a basis of country music, but not all country music sounds the same. It's like rock and roll. Like, can you say all rock and roll sounds the same? You know,
Right.
because it has a skank in it, doesn't necessarily make it reggae. I think and nowadays, I think what makes it reggae is a whole number of things. It's the way that the music is, the instruments are playing off of each other. It's the way the drum and the bass sound. It's the way the spaces in the music are and all that, which is what creates reggae, not just putting a guitar skank in it, you know.
Yeah.
And you had to like, really learn like all of those things, I think, to really comprehend like where the music came from and also study the guys that created it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because this is a Jamaican music, like no doubt about it. It comes from Jamaica. And if you think that it started with Sublime, you're absolutely wrong because Sublime
Correct.
knew that it started in Jamaica. Like most of these California reggae or American reggae bands are all fans of Jamaican reggae at the end of the day. Sublime was, Tribal Seeds is, Revolution is, we all are slightly stupid, you know what I mean? And this is how
Absolutely.
we all kind of, I kind of made friends with everybody also in the Cali reggae scene and started working with bands like Slightly Stupid and all that. I played on some of the record too. And we became friends through our love of like the music, and the love of the music was coming from like the old like Jamaican reggae,
Yeah. I mean,
trying to make it our own, but also keeping the roots in it.
respect the roots. I mean, it's so vitally important. It's so vitally important. We're going to go into depth a little bit later on towards the end of the interview about the importance of roots and reggae in general. But I do want to get into this record, man. Ancient Blood. It is,
Let's do it.
I've been loving the Tribal Seeds for so many years. So many different members within the band, but it's just such an incredible sound that this art project has created. And this record, I think, is my all-time favorite. I really do.
Wow, thank you, man.
I
Appreciate
mean,
that.
it's not only the record of the year in our book, but it also really deserves to snag that ever elusive reggae Grammy. You put your heart
Hey,
and
let's go,
soul.
baby.
Let's go.
Let's
Yeah.
go, man. Let's
Put
go.
that let's put that out into the world right now. You put your
Let's put it in the
heart and
universe right now.
soul into this record. Tell us about it.
We did.
Tell us about what you did with it and why you love it so damn much and anything you
We
want.
uh we really worked hard on this record. It was probably about a 3.5 year journey doing this record. We started writing some of the songs back in 2019 on tour. We were on tour with Slightly Stupid back then, that summer, and Steve would start writing, and we kind of come up with some ideas, and we got back in the studio. We would mess around at rehearsals and whatnot, and got back in the studio. I think Tokyo was around back then, and a couple of the other ones. So we originally started working on the record, and as time went on, some of the songs got scrapped and some new songs were written and whatnot because we weren't necessarily feeling this one or that one. A lot of bands will do that, like write a bunch of more songs than are going to end up on the record.
Correct. Oh
So at
yeah.
the end of the day, I think, and in the midst of that, T Ray had come back into touring with the band. So then T Ray's influence came back in the writing and the production, which was really cool. To have those two back together, obviously, because that is Tribal Seed Sound was Steve and T Ray. So
Right.
having them two back together kind of like opened it up. And T Ray had a lot of visions of what he wanted to do with the record. And Steve was constantly writing and, trying to perfect these songs. And which what came out is Ancient Blood, and we we really set out to do something special because the band, we haven't put a full length record out since Representing.
Hmm.
We did Roots Party, which was an EP, and we did a bunch of singles, which some of them are on the record and stuff like that. But we hadn't done a full length, so we knew that, like, all right, we're doing a full length record. The fans are gonna want something big, something meaty, like some dope features, a lot of songs, new songs, and different vibes. And so Ancient Blood is what came out of it, and we're pretty proud of it, man. It's getting really, really good response worldwide. Actually, David Rodigan, those guys are playing it now, and stuff like that. So we're kind of looking globally too, as well as America, to try and market the record and go on tour and promote and play and experience the international vibes as well. I think that's a big goal for the band. South America, Europe, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean that you took the words right out of my mouth. Tribal Seeds likes to expand out beyond the grip of just America, man. You guys are an
Yeah,
international thing. You deserve
yeah,
to go, and you've been all over the world anyway. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a
sure,
second, but I want to talk about a few of the things that I really love about this record. Number one, and this is something maybe some people haven't quite thought about, but you know, nowadays it's like put out music, put out music, put out music, put out music as fast as you can. And you got a record coming out, whatever. You've already released like 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. How many tracks out of the record? When the record comes out, it's like, okay, well, I've heard the whole thing. I like it to be kind of a surprise. And you guys kind of pulled that off by dropping these tracks like Wicked Wild with the homie Empress Sativa, a while back,
yeah,
a couple other ones a while back. And
yeah,
then you take some time and you're relaxing and you're letting it sit and people almost kind of let it flow over their head. And then now you have a surprise and
you're
something
right.
like this that you're like, yes, man, let's spin this whole damn thing all the way through. This is
Right.
fire. I really like that you guys did that. I'm really
Yeah.
like, I'm not digging like, let's drop half the record, 3 months prior to the release. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And
I
only have 10 songs on it, you know what I'm saying?
you
We have
know,
17 tracks on this record. So yeah, exactly. We wanted to put some of the singles that we have put out obviously on it, but we wanted to give enough new stuff on there that people like, oh, this is actually almost like a bonus album that's included with the actual record. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, and it was smart. I love how you guys did that. You guys kind of always do it a little different. You guys do it
Well,
your
we
way.
try and
I
forge
like
our own
that.
path for sure, bro. I think Tribal Seeds has always done that. And it's kind of one of the reasons I love the band is that they don't really try and conform with, what everybody else is necessarily doing, but kind of do our own thing in our own way.
Absolutely. So the second thing that I absolutely love about this record is the collabs. You got the roots greats to modern era superpowers to some unknowns, international, Twinkle Brothers, the legendary
Yeah.
Kabaka, who's going on tour with you guys coming. We'll talk about the tour in a bit. The
Yeah.
movement, Holly Cook, man, Holly Cook.
Yeah.
Oh,
Holly Cook was a good one.
dude, the Elevators, my old
Yeah.
band, Hector Roots, who we're absolutely going to talk about in just a second. Empress, our girl
Yep.
Carita, Pat Boy, Natalia. I mean, so many
Romaine
unbelievable.
Virgo on One Time is like one of my favorites on the
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
on the whole record, man. He just absolutely killed it. I love that song a lot.
It's
Yeah,
just
the
awesome.
collabs was big to us. Yeah, the collabs was big to
Yes.
us. We wanted to represent kind of all the facets of the things that we love about reggae. So, one thing we love about the music that we do is obviously the roots from Jamaica. So we have the Twinkle Brothers and guys like Kabaka Pyramid and those guys on it, but we also want to represent kind of the Latin part of the heritage of the band. And so we have Natalia Doko from Argentina on it, and then Pat Boy is on there on Aya. Was a total surprise. That was T-Ray's idea, like to, have this brother come in. He's like a Mayan language rapper from the Yucatan Peninsula. And he raps in the Mayan, like an ancient Mayan language. And, it's just something different, totally went along with the whole ayahuasca vibe
That's
of what
wicked.
we were trying to accomplish with that song. And it's cool, you know what I mean? It's something different. I don't think the features we had, people had expected some of those kind of vibes on there. Not to mention Cheekies with the title track on Ancient Blood.
Hmm.
Um, you know, So it's we have songs that are half in Spanish, half in English, and then we have songs with the Mayan language, and then we have these other things that we. That's what I'm saying. I think we wanted to blend in all of our conclusive, things that we love about music, not just reggae, but just music in general, and that the inspirations for music for us.
Yeah, I think the way I wrote it was you get the full spectrum of reggae music on the record: dancehall, roots, ska, rocksteady, lovers rock, reggaeton, ragamuffin, reggae step. Even the band's love
Yeah,
for reggae music and all its different flavors is quite clear and evident here, man. So
right.
that's the
Exactly.
other
Now
thing
you
I
pretty much summed it up. Yeah, you pretty much summed it up there.
that's the other thing I love. And the theme here is you got surprises. People are getting like gifts. This is what records used to be about. It was a
Right,
surprise. There's gifts. This is an
right.
excitement thing. That's what you guys brought back with this. Not to
Yeah.
mention
We
the production on it. Sorry to interrupt you. Is fantastic. The vinyl sounds incredible too. I mean,
good.
incredible.
Nice. Yeah,
Sorry to
dude. I
interrupt
mean,
you.
and I have to give props to Bonsai Caruso who mixed the record. I don't know if you know Bonsai, but he's the one that did like Welcome to Jamrock, Tammy
Hmm.
Marley, and the Nas and Damien album, and like tons and tons of other like huge records. And he's a great guy, and he's an amazing mixing engineer. So he's the one that, and then also Fabian Cook, who's my go-to. I've been my friend for about almost 30 years now, and he's the one that pretty much does engineers all my drum tracks and does a lot of work with us on the audio part of it. Actually, Fabian's the one that actually made the whole Twinkle Brothers collab happen because he's friends with Norman Grant, and it was getting Twinkle Brothers is not an easy feat. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like Norman doesn't do a lot of features for people, and it's kind of out of the box of a lot of what's going on here in America and reggae. There's a lot of Europe stuff. So, us getting him was huge. Like I know Steve had wanted him and the Twinkle Brothers and T Ray like from get go, like for that song. So it was amazing to like actually get the artist that we really wanted on the song, you know what I mean? And he
Yeah.
killed it, you know what I'm saying? It's great.
Front to back. I listen. I love a record that you can listen to front to back and not skip a single fucking track. You know what I mean?
Yep,
Like it is
same.
just it's so good, dude, man. I'm so proud of you guys. And you guys deserve that reggae Grammy, that elusive reggae Grammy. Let's put it out there
I
in the
hope so.
universe
Thank you, man. We're trying.
one more time. Hey, if you guys are
Anybody on
just
the Grammy committee, man, give us that vote, baby.
yeah, we need that vote, man. Give me that
Get
vote.
that vote.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you're super late. We got Zeb Tribal Seeds in the house. We're talking about Ancient Blood. This record is full of Christmas-esque gifts, those really good ones that you get only in the holidays, man. We're so stoked on it. Everybody out there, grab the wax, man. It sounds absolutely fantastic. I do want to move on and kind of talk about tour, man. You just did a little one-off, kind of starting the season off right at Florida Groves. How's the new music live? You got Steve back. We'll talk about that just a second. Tell us about the tour. Getting ready for that thing too.
Yeah, it's going great. And the tour's gonna be great. We got Kabaka Pyramid with us and Innovision, who me and Gonzo are also will be playing with on the tour. So you'll see us up there all night on stage, pretty much.
Wow.
Um, and me and Gonzo do a lot of recording too with Koa and Innovision on a lot of their new records and all that stuff too. So it's great to have the homies on tour with us. And Kabaka, what can you say, man? He's amazing.
Amazing.
The
Yeah.
Bevel Rockers, amazing band. Super looking forward to touring with them. I've met them guys one here and there in passing, but it's gonna be nice to be on the road with them and just hang out and just soak up their vibes because they're an amazing band. He's an amazing artist and also really really cool. So yeah, this is gonna be cool. We're not hitting all the markets obviously for different reasons for this run, but we will definitely be back at the markets that we're not gonna hit on this time. Sometimes when people don't know when you book certain festivals, certain shows, there's radius clauses where you can't play in that certain amount of miles for a certain amount of time.
Yep.
Sometimes it doesn't always blend into the tour well when you have that. So you have to it's a lot of logistical. It's not that we don't want to come to your city, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes we just can't, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to be back out there. We have a bunch of shows that are going to be announced pretty soon too, with some major artists that I think everybody loves that are going to be coming up here in a minute that everybody's going to see us on too. So we'll be definitely be around. Hopefully we'll be in your city soon, you know.
Yeah, man. Tribalseeds.net for more info on that at Tribal
Also, sorry, okay,
Seeds. Yeah.
sorry, before I interrupt, before I forget, we're also doing meet and greets on this tour, and we've never done that. Travel Seeds has never done meet and greets. So I just want to put that out there. When you buy tickets, we're doing meet and greet packages, backstage, hang with the band, take picture, posters, da 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 da. So it's all on travelseeds.net. You can find all that.
Is Steve going to be a part of those meet and greets?
Yes, he will. Yeah, yeah, he said he would. So
Oh man, that's amazing, man.
he
That's
said he
that's
would.
cool. Dude, we're so stoked for everything that's happening with the band right now, man. The Legends, Tribal Seeds, Zeb in the house. I want to talk about Hector, man, uh, and how amazing he is. You talk about coming in clutch. When a band member needs a break for whatever reason it may be, it's already a huge obstacle to overcome. But when it is lead, someone like Steve, uh, the singer, the songwriter, the face of the band. Uh,
Yeah.
it's tough, man. It's
Oh,
almost
he
next
told me.
to impossible. Most bands would be like, okay, well, we're just not gonna gig. Tell us about the whole process, man, and how amazing Hector is.
Well, yeah, Hector. If you don't know Hector Roots Lewis, he's recently in the Bob Marley movie playing Carlton Barrett, Bob's drummer, and he was the percussion player with Chronix um, before, and he toured with Chronix for years, and he's also doing his own music. And Steve is having issues with his voice. It's really hard to keep his voice up, and some medical issues and things going on, and it was really hard for him to actually be able to do a 2 month tour that we have at Dirty Heads that year. And so it came down to, well, do we have to cancel all these dates, or do we try to do something else? And T Ray found Hector, and he's like, you know what? I think he's the guy. I think he can, and he'll bring a different energy. And some people are gonna like it, and some people might not. But I think, on that tour, it wasn't a headlining tour. It was, we were on the Dirty Hits tour, so we had a relatively short set. And we're like, all right, let's do this. And we brought him in, and he was just an amazing talent, super, super nice guy, and really, really studied Steve's lyrics, his delivery, his melodies, and all that, like in depth. And Hector's a huge fan of Steve and his writing. Now he's just like, oh my god, like this dude is amazing. So he really took it to heart, and he came in, and obviously he was nervous, for a while. It's a big shoes to step in. And he didn't have a whole lot of time to rehearse it, and he just came in and killed it. And as the tour went on, he just got more comfortable and better and better. And he never came in to replace Steve, and I hope nobody thinks that that's what was happening. He was never gonna be replacing Steve. There's no replacing Steve. I just want to get that clear. He came in to honor the music, what I'm saying, and let us still go out there and deliver like a show for the fans, still knowing that it wasn't going to be Steve, but hey, we're going to just still represent the music with the roots, what I'm saying, in
Yeah.
it. And a lot of people really did love it, and it brought a really cool energy, I think. And so when we played Florida Groves this past weekend, Hector came in, sang Dust Till Dawn, one of his songs with us, and Vampire and all that. It's just really cool. It's like family reunion vibes. So as far as we're all concerned, Hector is in Travel Seeds. He's part of our family. Always will be part of our family, no matter what.
Yeah, part of the tribal for sure. Part of the tribe, I guess
Yep.
you'd say. Yeah, it's just incredible. Like, Louis had a quote in one of y'all's interviews I was looking at, and it was like perfect. He said, where was this here? Give me 1 second. Okay, so he said, "We're not ever gonna let anything stop us. We will always keep it flowing. We will always keep it majestic, and we will always keep it roots. And most importantly, keep it going for the people." It really kind of
Right. That
represents
was
what you
exactly
guys
exactly
are.
kind of we were like, yeah, it's exactly kind of where we were coming from. Was that like, it'd be easy to just go, oh, yeah, sorry, we just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But that's the easy way out, and you're letting a lot of people down, including your fans. You know what I'm saying? And we obviously we know people want to see Steve, but sometimes singers have problems with their voices, and I
Shit
think
happens.
in our respect, you'd rather not do it than go out and do it halfway and not be able to deliver what the people want to hear. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in the respect of us loving our fans, and that's kind of where all this came from, was that we really do love and respect our fans. And obviously you're always going to get people like, oh, why they do that, why are they doing this? But you know what he said in that was absolutely right. I mean, we're just trying to always keep the roots going.
Yeah.
And I think we did. I think we definitely represented, even though it wasn't Steve with us. Hector did a great job at representing roots reggae music with Tribal Seeds on that tour, and it was pretty incredible.
And you guys just keep pushing, man. You never stop. All the lineup changes over the years, to all the things that have had with COVID, of course. You guys came out and did that really cool interview session. That's where I got that quote from. It just kind of
Mm-hmm.
made sense what he said. It embodies kind of what you guys are. You pave your own path and you keep fighting no matter what, while keeping it strictly roots, of course. So
Yeah,
big up Hector, man. Everybody,
man,
go
love
check out the
Hector,
Bob
man.
Marley
Bobo,
movie.
Hector, I love you, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
man.
great to hang out with him this past weekend. It was awesome, man. We miss him.
Has he told you any cool stories from, on the set of that movie, man? I'll bet you there's some
Yeah,
crazy
he did tell
stuff.
me some stuff. Yeah, he was telling me one. I told him my favorite line that he did was when Junior was it Junior? Yeah, Junior Marvin came into audition and he had the Jerry curl or whatever, and Hector said, "Well, I'm Mr. Perm." He called him Mr. Perm, and I thought it was hilarious. And he said he kind of made that line up, and they were like, "Cool, we love that line," but back in the '70s, it would have been Jerry curl because Perm didn't come in until the '80s. So
Oh.
in keeping it, time specific, they're like, okay, why don't you call him Mr. Perm instead of Mr. Jerry Curl? So I thought that was pretty funny. And
Yeah.
he told me on the set, he was like, man, it was amazing. Like the vibes was like really upful vibes. It wasn't like all right, everybody, da da da. Like the Hollywood thing. He said it was really
Yeah.
like still family vibes, and all the musicians and Ziggy and all those guys were there all the time, and they would do jam sessions, and they kept it like, hey, we're gonna keep this vibe like how it was when Bob was here, and all of that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, we're gonna keep it
it was
reggae.
it was it was cool to hear some of the stories from it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wicked, man. That's everybody check out that movie, man. What a cool thing to bring into the world, to bring to the masses too, to even, spread our beautiful reggae music even further, out into the
Yeah.
world. Yeah. So,
Yep. And I love the good.
oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I love the fact that they brought in Mortimer Plano in there. It was the one that kind of taught Bob about Rastafari, and he was a really like Rasta elder. So I was saying before is when I went to Jamaica with Ras Michael, we actually smoked chalice in the hills of Jamaica with Mortimer Plano, the real Mortimer Plano.
Wow.
Like when they went to the hills and they were doing the Nyabingi thing in the movie, I did that back in the '90s with Mortimer Plano and Ross Michael, and I was
Wow.
actually there, and it was pretty incredible. Like the movie makes it look incredible, but when you're there actually living it with the dudes, and I was just like, wow, I can't believe I can. This little kid from Venice, I used to be skateboarder, like now here I am in the hills of Jamaica with like these like legendary people, Muda Baruka and all these guys, and I was like, yo, like
It's
so I've been very
amazing.
blessed, man. I've been very blessed in my life, you know what I'm saying, to see some crazy, amazing things.
Link was not kidding when he said you have a crazy story to tell, man. You got it. I mean, just the
Yeah.
amount of
Oh,
um,
I do, man. It's been what now? Like 20 like my 27 years or something in this business. So like, like you said, there's been like hundreds of artists and all these things, and I love the music. I did it I would do it for free still. You know what I'm saying? The business part of it, I hate. I hate the music business. Everybody hates the music business, but we all love music. And
yeah.
you got to navigate now in this time the business part of it a lot more kind of than you used to, because everybody has a home studio now and social media and all these things, and it's like you got to really navigate all those things and drop your record in the right way at the right time with this algorithm, and that part of it we all fucking hate, bro. Like, but it's part of the game and you kind of got to learn it. So new artists coming up, I know you want to just do music, but you should learn the other side of it as well nowadays, just to stay relevant and stay current.
Yeah. You know, talk. We'll keep it on this point, and then we'll go to some funny shit. And then I got one more question for you. You
Hmm.
know, you've been around the block. What have you learned over the years about this business? What changes have you seen, good and bad, and what do you never get sick of, man?
Well, I mean, I never get sick of playing my drums. That's for sure. Actually, I'm lying. I do. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I get fucking tired of playing music. Ask my wife. My wife will tell you, like, we'll get in the car and she'll be blasting. Everywhere we go, blasting music. I'm like, can we just have silence? And she's like, silence, hell no. I'm like, you don't realize I'm listening and living music like 24/7 of the day. Sometimes you're listening to a song like when we were doing the Ray Ancient Blood record, and T Ray sending me the rough mixes and the drum tracks, and I'm listening to it like over and over and over, like where it's
Yeah,
just
you don't want to listen to
in
that
your
no more.
head to the point where I don't want to hear this song anymore. But I never get tired of performing and playing music. I mean, we all still love that. This music, like I said, when I started doing it, it was very underground, and there wasn't a huge audience base for reggae music in America. It was more Europe. Okay, it was always Europe. Always had the reggae fans, way more than America back then. Still do kind of. I mean, in Europe,
Oh
reggae is
yeah,
humongous. People in
huge.
America think it's big here. It's bigger there. Okay, like
France, dude,
their festivals are
huge.
bigger.
Oh my God,
Cali
yeah.
Vibes is 30,000. Some festivals in Europe are 70. You know what I'm saying? So
Rototom.
it's
Oh
big.
yeah, yeah,
So, but in America, the way I've seen is like, wow, this music grew so exponentially and started touching a whole different demographic of people that had never heard it. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of people that, especially like online, that'll have this debate of, you know, um, what is reggae, and if it's American reggae, it's not real reggae because it's not Jamaican, and these type of things, which I don't subscribe to. That's not where the artists I play with ever had a problem with white people or Americans playing reggae music. Okay, what makes it not authentic is when you're doing it just for that dollar because it's popular, right?
hmm
You got to be doing it from your heart. You got to be like, at least trying to adhere to where reggae music came from and at least respect it, and do your best not to emulate it but to honor it. I think that's a good word to say. As long as you're honoring the music where it came from, the people that created it, you can make it your own. You can put rock guitars in it. You can do this. As far as lyrics, obviously, reggae, it's another thing. People talk about roots reggae and all that. Okay, roots reggae typically is about Rastafari, Haile Selassie, Prince Emmanuel, like those religious aspects of it. But all reggae was not roots reggae, as we know.
hmm
Reggae had rock steady and reggae had lovers rock and all these are a lot of artists that never sang about Haile Selassie or Rastafari, but still are reggae artists. So my thing is like it doesn't have to necessarily be only like a cultural, religious based music. It needs to be positive and cultural. You know what I mean? If you keep
yeah,
it cultural, um, about whatever your culture is, if your culture is surfing or whatever, as long as you keep it within that realm of what you're doing and you don't go to the other side and start singing about some fuckery and some bullshit,
right.
like I say, I don't have a problem with it. There's a lot of gatekeepers on both sides of what reggae is and what reggae is not. But I can tell you from me, as a perspective, a guy that's played with both Jamaicans and Americans, this is what I see is that I don't see it, a lot of the Jamaican artists like going, oh, these American reggae bands. But I understand that there's going to be a little bit of animosity over the money being made now by American reggae
Right,
bands, which is
right,
kind of never
right.
was there for the Jamaican artists. So we have to understand that. We also have to understand that now that it's hitting a broader fan base, there's more money to be made.
Oh
And,
yeah,
and in making more money, there's more corporate bullshit that goes along with it. There's more record labels and there's more Live Nations and there's more all of that. You know what I mean? So the bigger it gets, it's undoubtedly going to, get the business side of it is going to come into play a lot more. You know what I mean?
yeah.
As far as the music goes, man, I love anybody that's over here trying to do the kind of music that they love, no matter what it is, whether it's reggae or funk or hip hop or whatever the fuck you do. As long as you love it and you honor and respect it, man, do your fucking thing. You know what I mean? That's how I see it.
Spoken, man. You took the words right out of my mouth. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love what you
Yeah,
do.
man, you got to,
Hey,
man. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think any of us sought out. I know I didn't like thinking, oh, I'm gonna play music. I'm gonna be rich and famous. Nah, fuck that. Like, good luck. I mean, saying as a
Straight
kid you're
up.
gonna be a saying as a kid you're gonna be a famous musician is basically like, okay, I'm gonna play for the NFL because I play football. You know what I mean? There's a
Hmm.
ton of kids that play drums and bass guitar. You know what I mean? You gotta
Oh yeah.
just do it and love it, and like spend all your time and hard-earned money sometimes on it. Work two jobs just to buy your new drum set and this and that. You got to do all those things. And as far as the what I was saying about the roots, I'll give you one real quick story. I went to like a drum clinic. I can't remember the drummer's name. He's a big time Latin drummer, and he said, in order to play Latin music correctly, you have to eat the rice and beans,
Mm.
right? And when he's saying that, he's like, you got to live this shit. You have to live it. If you want to play a music, especially when it's not a music that originated in your country of origin, i.e., reggae or salsa or certain things, you know what I'm saying? You got to really live it to learn the ways to play it, the right inflections to put in terms of reggae, the what notes not to play, as well as what notes to play. There's
Mm.
a lot that can be said in the silence. Well, whose album was it? Soulja, Beauty in the Silence. I think
Yeah.
the Soldiers record, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that. I'm not sure that that's what Jacob was talking about, but I think that's a great way to put it. Beauty in the silence in reggae is like an unspoken thing of how the bass and the drum talks to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dude, you and Link
So
remind me a lot of each other. I get a
yeah, I love Link,
vibe.
man. Big up
Dude.
Link, big up Elevators,
Yeah,
all of them. I
dude.
love those boys. Jackson, one of my
Yeah,
best
dude.
friends. Loved you, Jackson,
Yeah, man.
and all the guys, man. And we're stoked to have them on the record.
I was chatting with Jax today, and we'll go into this kind of funny segment. I'm sure you got some good stories. I've heard that from a couple of the homies, especially the elevators, that you like to be a prankster on tour, Nerf gun wars.
And they're not.
Jax,
Yeah, sure.
dude, Jax said he said he got you good with a Chinese chicken prank once.
He
Uh,
did.
tell us about that one, or tell us about just some funny ass shit.
I'll tell you about that one. So Jackson, I don't know. Jackson is if you think I'm a prankster, Jackson is a prankster, man.
Oh,
So
I
he
know.
he
Yeah.
got me good, got me on the prank call of like some Chinese food delivery person coming to my house trying to deliver food, and I had been dealing with some issues with somebody else at the time, and I was a little paranoid about some shit, you know what I mean? And
Uh,
I had my knife right here and shit,
Heard.
and I was like, so he's calling me up, pretending to be this delivery driver lady or whatever. I can't remember the name, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? And I'm like, go out outside my door, and I'm looking around. I see a car with its lights on down the street, and I'm thinking, that's that motherfucker right there. Like, I don't know it's Jackson. I just think it's like somebody come to my house. How'd they get my address? You know what I'm saying? Turned out it was just like some other car that just happened to be there. And I come outside with my knife, like I'm on the phone. I'm like, where you at, motherfucker? My knife right here. Come on, like, and like he hung up. He hung up so fast. He just hung up really quick, right? And then he's like, I think he texted us. He's like, dude, that was me. Totally sorry, bro. Like, I fucked up. I took it too far.
Dude, he's
I was
done
outside
that.
with a knife, like, all right, homie, bring it on. Like,
Dude, he would I
it's,
TM for them for a while, and like he would he would make these like accents on the phone, and he'd just call people and just talk mad shit and do all kinds of crazy pranks all the time.
yeah, he's
But man,
hilarious,
you
man. Yeah, I
fuck
love
with
Jackson.
Zeb, man, and he doesn't know who's coming to his house. Shit, it might be a problem,
I
man.
don't know what's going on in my house. I'm like, yo, dude, like, that shit was funny. I can laugh now, but he's like, my wife
Not
was like,
then.
Jackson, Zeb was about to come out there and stab you. I'm like, straight up. He's like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
You gotta laugh
I'm really proud of
sometimes,
them.
man.
I'm
Yeah.
really, really happy to see their success. I met Jackson around 2018 at One Love, and we kind of chopped it up. And they had just kind of started getting momentum back then, And we've been really, really good friends, this whole time. And I've seen how much work he puts into their shit and his dedication to the craft and to the music and all the guys. So I'm just really happy to see their success. They deserve it.
Yeah, big things, big things on the horizon. They're already big things on the horizon for them.
Yeah, man, they're killing it.
I left. unfortunately, right after, right in between COVID there, and you know, just the amount of heads I saw start coming through doors started to blow me away, man. I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
whoa, we've never been in this
Well, that's
city
how it goes.
before. And it's just boom, man. And big ups to them. Love you guys. We'll actually be doing an interview with them next. So we'll
Oh,
talk
great. Awesome, man. Yeah. Tell
more
him I said I love
pranks.
him, man. Yeah. Maybe I could get Jackson to prank you
Yeah, he's already
during
pranked.
the interview. Maybe I'll prank you during the interview.
Oh,
I got your number now, homie. Like it's on.
oh, it's on. All
It's
right. All right. What was it? Lily's
on.
chicken or Lily's
I think it was
Chinese? That's
Lily.
what it
Yeah, I think it was
was.
Lily.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was Lily. Yeah.
Dude, Zeb, it's been a blast, man. Thank you so much
Thanks for having me.
for chat with us. We really appreciate it, especially after the circumstances. And you know, I don't miss. You know, I was a tour manager. I'm not late. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's
No,
one of
I
those
know.
things. Like
It's not.
we
Oh,
just
no worries,
we
brother.
really appreciate you coming on. We wanted to talk about how much we love this record, how much we love you, how much we love the Tribal Seeds, and of course some funny shit. But we're gonna close it out with something that everybody gets the first time I interview him. Again, Zeb, it's been an absolute blast, man. You're a legend. You're a legend.
Oh man, thank you, man.
Doing
I just
what you're
try and do what I
fucking
do.
doing. Yeah, man. What does reggae mean to you?
I mean, reggae is not only a type of music. I think reggae is a lifestyle, and I think a lot of the people that know about reggae music know that it's a lifestyle. Apart from having dreadlocks and learning about the Bible and Rastafari and all that, whatever kind of reggae you're into, I think it just creates a positivity and an energy in people that creates a lifestyle, and it's also kind of, to me, it's very family based, and the fans is family, and the bands are family. I mean, I've never seen another music where like all the bands are like homies and family. Like
Mm-hmm.
we all chop it up together after shows. When we're on tour, we're all backstage jamming together. Jackson will tell you like it'll be everybody like
Yep.
family band jam style, and to see the camaraderie and the love that's in reggae music, no matter whether it's, you know, from here or there or Europe, it doesn't matter. As long as, I feel like reggae is love. So I think if you're gonna listen to it, you're gonna play it, just do it love in your heart, and that's what it's all about. I think that was it, you know.
The family is always better together. I always say that, man. And you know, I don't call the fans. I call them family. You know, because
Yeah,
they're our family too. Everybody has to be together for this thing to work that we call reggae music, man. So
yeah, yeah, you do.
I
And I don't necessarily think there's any such thing as one love, but it's a nice idea to aspire to. So I think we should all aspire to having that one love vibe still. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully one day maybe we can make it a reality.
it's been such a blast, Seb. Thank you so much. You're a legend. We appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep spreading the love, and we'll see you real soon. All
Always.
right.
Thank you guys, man. Simmer not
Amen.
saying thank you guys so much, man. But before I go, I got us do one time. Mr. Crowley. Nah, nah, nah. I had to do it.
Hey,
I had to
man.
do
We'll
one.
talk to you real soon.
Hey, thank you so much,
Thank you
man. I
so
appreciate you
much,
guys so
man.
much.
Yeah.
Bless,
Yeah. New
man. We'll see you
fam,
guys
dude.
soon. Hey,
Yeah.
pick up our new record, Ancient Blood, and come see us on tour. Ancient Blood Tour, Travel Seeds, Kabaka Pyramid, and Innovision. Coming soon next month. Peace.
Run to the rivers, or you run to the rocks, gonna seek refuge in the far corners. Run to the rivers, or you run to the rocks, gonna seek refuge in the far corners. Oh, living